Welcome back to the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I am your host, Daniela, and today's episode is covering one of my absolute favorite topics, and that is systems. So why is that my favorite topic? Well, because systems are what create true freedom. It's not a fancy software, although we may have software incorporated into our systems. It's not the latest TikTok trend. And it's not working yourself into burnout. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Systems are what allow you to grow. It's what allows you to step out of the treatment room. It's what allows you to finally become the spa CEO that your business needs. Systems are what allows you to build a business around the life that you want to live. So today I'm going to walk you through 7 areas of your spa that you can and should systemize if you want less chaos and more clarity. Okay, so let's get into all of these. So the first area of your business that we can look at systemizing is your client journey. All right, so this is where it all begins. From the time that someone finds you, either online, whether that's through ChatGPT, whether that's through SEO and search, whether that's through social, however they are finding you, from their first appointment to their 10th visit, we want that entire journey to feel guided. We want them to feel understood. We want them to feel taken care of. So in order to systemize this process, we need to have a clear path, like how do we confirm appointments? What happens when a new client books a service? Are we confirming their appointment? Are we sending them paperwork ahead of time? Are we acknowledging that they're new when they come in? How are we following up with them? How are our treatment plans documented? The entire journey from start to finish should be documented. Okay, so this is going to create consistency in their care. It's going to build trust, and it's going to build long-term loyalty. Now, one of my favorite books on the client journey is called Never Lose a Customer Again. It's by Joey Coleman, and he has an entire framework inside the book that talks about the different stages that a customer goes through in their first 100 days of doing business with you. And he talks about, even further after that, but how are we, from the time that they even see who we are and they become aware of our brand, to doing business with us, to the follow-up? What does that look like? Now, we're human, right? We are entrepreneurs. We've got a lot of things going on. And it's very easy and very normal to forget a task, to forget something, even if it's completely unintentional, which is why we create systems in the first place. They are documented processes around every single aspect of your business to make sure that those steps don't fall through the cracks, and to also make sure that they're repeatable no matter who is going through and completing that process. Okay, so the second part of your business that can be systemized, that can be made very clear so that we are doing it the same across the board, is your consultation process. Okay, we want every single consultation to feel thorough, customized, and clear, but also repeatable. Okay, so from the questions that you ask, to the treatment recommendation process, to how the product recommendations are documented, how you're showing them to the patient. Are we setting them on the counter? Do we have a consultation room? Everything, including the follow-up protocol for consultations. This needs to be documented and systemized, very similar to how you would create a protocol for a service. So minutes 1 to 3, we're doing this. Minutes 3 to 6, we're doing this. We want that for the consultation process as well. And that way, when we have a patient that refers somebody else to us, they're getting that same exact service. Side note here, this is also why it's incredibly important to have protocols, not only with our consultation system, but with our services. Because if you have one esthetician who's not following the timing protocols and is maybe going 15 minutes over, spending more time on the massage than she should, and a patient refers, a friend of theirs, and they go with another esthetician, and her service was 15 minutes shorter, or that same patient goes with another esthetician just because we're focusing on being patients of the practice, and then her service is different, she's going to feel like someone didn't fully do their job or didn't put the same level of effort, like it was shorter, when in fact it was just one provider who wasn't following the protocols. So you can see how that can cause so much conflict across the board. So it's really important to have these experiences that our patients go through, whether it's a service or in this case, we're talking about the consultation. We want it to be systemized across the board. Okay. All right. The third area that should be systemized is your retail system. This is really big. And we actually just did a podcast episode. Actually, I think it was last week around your retail, like how and when to pay commission. Part of that episode, we were talking about your product flow chart. So how are we creating consistent recommendations of what and when? We're talking in your entire retail system. How are reorders and follow-ups tracked? How is your commission structure based? Is it based on your retail to service ratio? So we want to have everything around retail systemized. So if you haven't listened to last week's episode, be sure to check that out. It really goes into the retail commission structure on a much deeper level that can really help you to systemize this entire process, which actually ties in to the client journey, right? Because we want to understand how and when are we following up. Well, that aligns with retail sales as well. Okay. But to learn how to do your go-to product flow chart, which is an incredibly useful tool to help you standardize and systemize your retail recommendations, it's huge. Okay. Number 4, the fourth area to systemize in your business is your metrics. Okay. You cannot grow what you don't track. Okay. You can't manage what you don't measure. So we've got to have a system in place where we are looking at the different KPIs in our business. So if we're systemizing this, do we have our front desk filling out a KPI tracker, or maybe our spa manager? Are you meeting with your spa manager on a weekly basis and reviewing the KPIs and saying, what is this telling us? Remember that your metrics, your numbers are the language of your business. It's what your business is telling you about what's going on. And so what is the system that you have around this? Now, for us with numbers, I actually meet with Lucy, who's my marketing manager. I have a different process for some of the CEO KPIs that I'm looking at, but for marketing, which I think every single one of you it's going to be very important for, you want to know, like, what are the marketing KPIs that we're looking at? Is it engagement on our social media accounts? Is it the number of email inquiries or phone calls that we get? What are the specific things, and how can we look at that to understand if the actions that we're taking with social or with our ads or with our SEO are actually getting us an ROI? If we're not looking at the numbers, we're not going to be able to understand that. So we need to make sure that we have a system around our weekly reporting on revenue, on retail, on rebooking. We want to have monthly performance reviews on team members, kind of where are they at? We want to have the KPIs for our service providers and our front desks. You perhaps want to have dashboards or spreadsheets that can make your data visible. One of the things that we have inside of our Growth Factor Elite program is a client acquisition cost tracker. And so when we're looking at how you're acquiring new clients, whether that's social, whether that is SEO, whether that's word of mouth referral, whether that's strategic partnerships, whether that's walk-in traffic, we want to understand how much money have we invested in that particular venue. And it might be zero and it might be $1,000 a month. But we want to understand, what is it costing us to get a new client? So when we're looking at, hey, we're spending $1,000 a month on SEO, but we're actually getting 20 new clients from social, and we're spending $500 on SEO, or excuse me, $500 on social, that data, by having a system that we're looking at, that data is helping us to make decisions that, hey, we actually have more clients coming from social. And so we want to invest more money because it's going to be much more profitable from that venue than the other. And it might be vice versa. You may be getting a ton more from SEO, and maybe you're investing all your money in social, and we want to switch that. Okay. So this is how and why having a system around your metrics and tracking is so vitally important. It's going to help you shift from guessing into leading with clarity. Okay, so number 5, the 5th area of your business that you want to systemize is your hiring, onboarding, and development process. Your team, what are they going through? So we want to have standardization around our job descriptions. We want to have the hiring and interview flow. So what is the process from the time that we decide to hire to the time that we do the job posting, how we're selecting candidates. Now, here at Addo Aesthetics, we have a very clear hiring, onboarding, and development process. We use Monday.com, which is our project management software, to break down into steps the hiring system, the onboarding system, and the development system. Okay. And that's something that makes it repeatable. It makes it easy to follow. It's got all the appropriate things linked up inside of there. This is how you create an actual system. Okay. So if I'm going to go hire, then I can pull up my hiring template board. I can duplicate it and I can put the date in there and I can go through each of the steps. I'm following that system so that if I want to go on vacation, let's say that it's summer and I have my spa manager going through the hiring process because I am on a 2-week vacation at the beach with my kids, then my spa manager is going through and following the exact same process that I would be following. That's the freedom there. Okay. That is something that it is absolutely priceless to be able to have your business working and generating revenue when you are not there. Okay. When that is happening and you can step into that role of spa CEO, the whole game changes. The whole world changes. You're able to focus on things that were just, you weren't able to have the capacity to focus on them because you were so in the business. Okay. It's so vitally important to take your time and go through these different areas. Now, I'm going to take a pause here and just say your systems are never done. Okay. I'm giving you 7 areas to look at to get started, but know that running a systems-based business is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. This is a choice that you are making, similar to saying, I am choosing a healthy lifestyle where I care about my diet and exercise. And I'm exercising 4 times a week. you can't just stop exercising. I mean, you can, but you're not going to be able to maintain the same benefits as if you were to stay exercising. Okay. Same thing with systems. And one of the things that when I'm talking to spa owners about what's your 90-day goal, what are we focusing on right now? What's our top priority? Well, in the next 90 days, I want to have all my systems created. Okay. Well, we can go through and maybe we can pick 2 or 3 of these 7 that we're going to get the framework on, but we're still going to need to revise. We're going to need to refine. We're going to need to evolve as our business evolves and grows and changes. Okay. We've been really focusing on systems, I would say, since 2017, 2018, something like that. And every year we've got to update something. If we change a software, we have to update it. If we change an offering, we need to update it. There's so many different things that you just have to say, this is a lifestyle. This is a philosophy or approach in the way that we operate our business. Okay. So to go back to hiring and onboarding and development, one of the biggest challenges when someone comes to our company is team. They can't find any good people. They can't find people that want to work, or they find people that want to get paid, $100 an hour to be a part-time esthetician. There's these things that you hear that's just like, okay, like, how do we resolve this? Well, we set extremely clear expectations and communication. Okay. So from our job descriptions, those are going to be detailed. Our hiring process, communicating what we expect in the role. What are the metrics that we are measuring success? And this is where, when we get into leadership as a skill, we talk quite a bit about how it's normal to go through 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 hires before you find the right person for that. Every time you're going through that process, you're refining your hiring system, your onboarding system, your development system. You're saying, oh, this needs to be added in. That needs to be added in. This is where I should be following up. This is where I should be checking in. Okay. I know it's hard, but this is what's going to get you to a place where you know exactly what a great fit looks like. You know exactly how to attract and retain your people that align with your core values. If you don't have a system around hiring, onboarding, and development, it's going to be a huge struggle and an ongoing struggle. Okay, so area number 6 that you can systemize is your marketing and promotion. Okay. So we want to understand your monthly promotion calendar. We want to understand your sales funnels. We want to understand who owns what task. We want to understand your social media. So marketing doesn't have to feel like you're just like flying by the seat of your pants. This is something, especially with AI, that we can be so clear and so granular and so dialed in around the messaging that we want to create. Now, we know that October is peel season, right? There's a lot of, maybe every October you're doing a Shed the Dead and a peel party. We should know the marketing leading up to that. Maybe you know that every Black Friday you do a particular promotion, or you do a Small Business Saturday. There's pieces of behavior, of information that we're doing every year. Maybe you do a Christmas in July. We want to map those things out. Okay. And this is also, I'm going to give you a bonus section number 8, which is around planning. I'll tell you after number 7, but planning and having a system around how you do your annual plan is huge. This is how you are able to go on the vacations that you want, that you have time to exercise, that you just have so much clarity in building a business around the life that you want to live. And we're actually going to get into this later in September. We're doing Next Level Growth, which is our annual event. We've done it every year for several years, where we walk through the entire process of planning your year out, and how I do it, how I've done it for years, how I've refined it. This is my annual planning system that I have used, from doing the calendar audit to, getting clear on what my goals or desires, to understanding the season of life that I'm in, and what are my kids requiring of me at this point. So I'm going through all of that. That's going to help me with my marketing system when I know that, right? I'm going to know what I'm doing a year in advance, instead of it being October and I'm like, oh, wait, should we do a Black Friday promo? It's already done. You already know it, right? It's going to save you so much time. So it's really an important process to have your marketing and promotion system done in advance. And with AI and with ChatGPT and so many of these other incredible tools out there, it's making it easier than ever and faster than ever. So there's literally no excuse at this point. Okay, so part number 7, your financial management system. This is a big one, and we often avoid it, right? We avoid because the numbers are scary. We don't feel like a numbers person. There's so many heavy emotions that are attached to money and worth. And so we regularly avoid the finances. I have worked with 7-figure spa owners who literally have not looked at their finances. It'll be October and they have no idea what their revenue or expenses are for the year. And I'm like, okay, we have some work to do, because there's obviously some blocks that we need to work through around financial management, around what money means to you and your money mindset and all of those things. But we want to systemize how we are setting and creating revenue goals. We want to systemize our process for budgeting, for payroll, for, in budgeting, I'm talking about how much are we spending on our marketing budget? How much are we allocating for inventory? Are we tracking our profit margin? Do we have goals around our profit percentage? And then what about pay structures and raises based on performance? That kind of goes with the hiring, onboarding, and development. But do we have a structure around how we're going to do raises based off of that? Okay. So there's a lot that goes into it. I actually do I call it my financial system every Monday. I have 30 minutes of time blocked off. I go through YNAB. You need a budget. It's a budgeting software that is very inexpensive. It's about $100 a year. And it just gives you so much clarity on cash flow. I absolutely love it. And so every Monday I'm going through, I'm categorizing those. I'm looking at our revenue that's come in. I'm looking at our funnels. I'm assigning categories within YNAB, making sure that they're tagged appropriately, and just getting comfortable with the numbers and seeing where we're at. Because if you're not measuring it, you can't manage it. All right. When your numbers are organized, you sleep better at night and you make smarter CEO decisions. You know what to focus on when. Okay. So let me just do a recap here. We talked about the client journey. Definitely grab Joey Coleman's book. Great book. Never Lose a Customer Again. We talked about your consultation process. That one's big, right? Because if we're spending our marketing dollars and all of that to get people into a consultation, we want to make sure that we have that dialed in. Our retail sales, we want a clear message across the board. Our metrics and tracking, this is just overall the health of our business. Our hiring, onboarding, and development, how are we ensuring that we have a healthy and productive team? Our marketing and promotions, and financial management. And then the bonus one, your annual planning. How are you kind of putting all these together and setting the goals that you have for yourself in a clear, easy to understand plan? Okay. The important thing to remember is that you don't have to complete all of these systems in one day. You can just start and say, you know what, every day I'm going to film one SOP. And eventually I'm going to have enough SOPs on a particular topic that I can put them into a system. And I would just pick one area. Is it the client journey? Is it the consultation? Is it your marketing and promotions? Stay in that category and really look through, how do I create SOPs and compile them together into a process that creates a system for my business? Because without systems, you're stuck in the weeds, okay? You'll end up resenting your business. You'll end up getting burnt out. But with systems, you lead, you get time back, you get breathing room, and that gets you more creative. And that helps you grow your business, which helps you have the ability to pay your team more and impact your team, your community on a greater level. And that's the goal, right? Freedom, flexibility, and financial growth. Now, I know I threw a lot at you on this episode, and I know systems are a topic that can kind of make your mind spin a little bit. So if you have questions, please go in the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group. Just tag me. We've got our team in there. I'm in there. If you have any further questions that you want to talk about from this episode, just let me know. Post them in there and we are there to support you. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. So much for listening. And I can't wait to catch you on our next episode. Quick reminder before you leave. If your spa growth still depends on you doing more, it's time for a shift. Watch The System Shift, a free training designed to help spa owners break past that $25,000 to $35,000 month plateau without adding more treatment hours. You'll learn the CEO level systems that help you scale while protecting your time, your values, and your peace. Go to grow.autoaesthetics.com/podcast and watch The Systems Shift. That's grow.autoaesthetics.com/podcast.